Hey guys, my name is Dr. Agnel Rosario. I secured an All India rank of 340 in the recent Neetpg examination, and I graduated from St. GS Medical College and KM Hospital in Mumbai. So that's all the information about me. So why am I making this video? Because I want to help you guys out. I have no intentions of becoming a study influencer or a YouTuber or anything of that sort. There's just a one-off video that I'm posting. In case you guys want more videos, you can always comment in the comment section or something like that. Also, sorry for the audio and the image quality beforehand because I'm not really used to this. This is my first time recording a video and uploading it, so apologies for that beforehand in case the quality is not up to par. But yeah, let's get straight into it. I don't want to waste time. But yeah, the very first problem that we encounter is what resources to use. Now the thing is that there's 19 subjects. I could speak for each subject for over a minute and it'll be a long video. I don't think I need to do that. There's so many videos on YouTube regarding the resources. But I'd just like to tell you guys one thing. Please use the shortest resource possible. I'm literally telling you, if for example let's just say you're studying biochemistry and you're starting from scratch, you do not have your own handwritten notes or anything, so you buy notes, you get the PDF from Telegram, you print it or whatever. Please use the smallest resource possible. If it was me and there was a 120 pages ka PDF versus a 180 pages ka PDF, I definitely pick the 120 pages PDF because it is easier to start with a smaller base and then add information to it rather than starting with an already huge set of notes and cutting down information. Because the thing is, when you're cutting down information, you'll always be hesitant regarding what if I'm leaving out something important. And the thing is, you'll never end up discarding that information. Everything seems important, and you'll just end up reading the huge set of notes again and again, and it'll be tough during revision phase. So the very first thing is you have to use the shortest resource possible. I mean, there's so many good resources coming up. I personally didn't use any of Zainab ma'am's resources, but I glanced over them at the end of my second revision or third revision, but by then I had my own resources that I had made, so I didn't switch it up. But Zainab ma'am's resources are very nice and very to the point. I mean, it is actually revisable, so please go for that. Alright, now the primary reason I'm making this video is to just address one issue: the transition between your first read and your first revision. I'll just clarify this. The first read is like your first proper read. You're reading things for the first time, and I'll term revision as first revision, second revision, third revision, and so onwards. So first read, first revision, second revision, third revision, and subsequently. So the primary error that I see my colleagues, my juniors, or whoever's preparing for this examination, they make is that they do not concise their notes. They don't. They get a set of notes or a PDF or whatever, even if it's their own handwritten notes they made some time back from offline coaching, online coaching. So they have this set of notes, right? And they read it. Yes, everybody reads it. There's nothing new about that. But the thing is that you have a lot of time for your first revision. So, I mean, everybody finishes their first reading comfortably. There's no issues about that, no questions about that. But then the real problem comes during the revision phase. So, let us assume you studied something like surgery during your first read. And let's say you allotted 12 days for it. So, 12 days is a pretty, large span of time to finish any subject. And 12 days is more than enough. So, yeah, you end up reading surgery. You had a huge thick set of notes. You did that, you read it, you did the question bank, you did the PYQs, and yeah. And then you made the critical error of just skipping on to the next subject. So I think majority of the aspirants just slip during this phase. When they start their first revision, I'm not talking about the first reading. First reading to sabka ho jata hai without any issues. Now the real problem arises during the first reading, when they realize that I had read surgery during my first reading for a total span of 12 days, but you can't afford another 12 days during your revision phase. Let's just say you have to cut it down to like 5 or 4 days. The real problem arises that if you're trying to understand what I'm saying, they haven't compressed those notes, they haven't condensed those notes. They maybe you've just underlined or highlighted it, and then you have to read the same amount of information in a span of 3 or 4 days as compared to 12 days earlier. And let me tell you, nahi hota hai. No matter how much you underline, no matter how much you highlight it, we just tend to read everything, and by the time you realize it's too late. You've done your first reading and you realize all of your 19 subjects ka notes are like that only. They are not revisable within a short period of time, and then some people give up, some people start reading haphazardly. It becomes very non-systematic. So that is the primary issue that I see with more than 50% of the people. Yes, I mean, you read huge notes during your first reading, but try to concise those notes in your own handwritten manner. What I used to do was, I used to have a set of resources that I use for each subject. Well and good, I used to read that. After that, I used to do the Marrow question bank and PYQs. You have to do PYQs. This has been said enough times. I'm not going to elaborate any further on it. But you have your set of notes, the smallest possible set of notes. Smallest possible. I'll emphasize on this. You have your smallest possible set of notes. The most concise resource. Okay? Concise resource को भी concise करना है. That is when you'll end up cracking this exam. So you have your most concise notes for each subject. You do the question bank and you do the PYQs. After you do these three things, you'll gain a very good understanding of what is required, what is not, what is unnecessary, what is necessary, what is rubbish, what is not. So what did I used to do? After I've read my notes, after I've done my question bank, after I've done my PYQs, I used to go to the stationery, get a long book of 100 pages, and I used to allot one full day, not necessarily a day, like 6-7 hours is more than enough. Nobody has told you to decorate your notes, just write it in a rough manner, fatafat se, so that you just finish it off. Nobody is going to look at a decoration. So what I used to do was, I used to allot one whole day just to concisely handwrite my own notes as to whatever I feel is necessary. I did this for all 19 subjects. Yes, for some subjects like medicine, surgery, it might take 1 day, 1.5 days, but that is totally fine. It's totally worth it. So what happened was, it took me time for my first reading. Yes, I don't deny that. It took me like 4.5 to 5 months for my first reading. But at the end of my first reading, what I was left was with 19 subjects, 19 long books, and extremely revisable notes. So, and I never refer to any other resource after that, because in my long book I had notes, I had question bank ka resources, and I had PYQs ka resources, everything condensed in a single long book in a very revisable format. I divided those into short, medium and long subjects. Say short subjects like psychiatry, anesthesia, radiology, you get what I'm trying to say. My notes just consisted of 15 pages or 30 sides. I'll just refer to sides. So like 30 sides. You can revise that in like just 4 to 5 hours, right? You don't even need a single day. For medium subjects like ophthalmology, ENT, ortho, physiology, biochemistry, medium subjects, my notes consisted of say 60 to 70 sides, totally revisable in 1 day. And for large subjects like medicine, surgery, OBGY, say 150 sides, again very revisable in like 2 or 3 days. So yes, my first reading did take time, but then I finished my revisions really rapidly. I'm talking like a span of 31 to 32 days. I literally counted my days. I'm trying to be as accurate as possible. So yeah, I mean, I was literally finishing ek revision in one month, and due to that I was able to do like I was able to do like 3 to 4 revisions, 3 proper revisions and 1 final revision for the last 12 days. And this is how it went. My first reading, my first revision, my second revision, and my third revision. And during my third revision, from the notes that I had made, I picked out the even most important volatile stuff, and I made a 20th notebook, and that was the only thing that I read in the last 12 days. So concise notes can be concise notes. That is like hyper volatile information, the one that you forget. It can vary from person to person. So please do not make this mistake. This is the sole reason that I'm making this video, because I see so many people making this dangerous mistake. And before you get your own rank, you kind of don't even have the authority to tell people that you're making this mistake. I mean, it feels bad. All of us need some credential, give free advice to people. And until and unless you have a rank, nobody pays any heed to your advice. So my only request is, guys, please, you might be reading really concise notes, you might be reading really huge notes. That is fine. Everybody's style is different. Some people some people like reading, very lucid explanations, long, lambe sentences. That is totally fine. But please, I'm begging you, after you finish studying for each subject, please take out the time. Please take out one day to concise everything that you have read, And this is only possible after you read the notes and after you attempt the PYQs and the question bank. And also don't pay attention to any question in the question bank that has a strike rate of less than 30%. Those questions are useless. They are not going to affect your rank. Please don't break your head over them. You'd rather do 4 or 5 high yield MCQs in that time. Sorry. So yeah, that's my advice. And yes, please, I'm just repeating this one more time. Please take out the time to make your own handwritten notes and to concise what you have read in a separate long book. I know this might not be everyone's style. Some people are comfortable enough reading from the notes that they have highlighted or underlined, but majority of the people are not able to revise what they have read during the first reading. And many people will realize this error during their first revision. And by the time it's too late, unfortunately, 4 or 5 months have passed away, aadha time chala gaya. And I think the next exam will be in Jan. There's not even 12 months remaining, so just 10 to 9 months in hand. So this is my only advice, guys. Please, if you want me to talk about resources, that is a completely different issue. I'll do that in a separate video. That's fine. But please, guys, once again repeating, please concise whatever you have read in a separate long book, your own handwritten notes. Trust me, it doesn't take much time. But if you do this one thing, if you just take out one day for one subject, if you look at it from the grand scheme of things, I know it'll take like 19 days for 19 subjects in addition to the time that you're already reading. But trust me, you will save a lot of time during your revision phase and you will have a lot of retention for it. Please make your own notes revisable. Jot down whatever is important in a separate long book. And you'll find some difficulty doing this, for the first 2 or 3 subjects, but over time you'll get the hang of it. And yeah, you'll have amazing retention. And that is actually how I scored a rank of 340 in this exam. Please take out the time to make your own notes. That's all I have to say. Sorry. And other than that, I don't really have any special advice, but if you guys want me to give advice or comment on some other aspect of preparation, please do tell me so. And yeah, just leave your feedback in the comments.